Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem El Shai Ba'Shem Rakakudah. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. I'll make this a quick video. I'm going to title this video, Hebrew Israelites Trending. Excuse me. Today's date is October 20th, 2025. And I got this video in my notifications. Anyway, I'm just gonna play it, and I'll cut it short unless the spirit jumps on me. So this is We Are Woke. I believe the individual that owns this YouTube page is Pastor Richardson, if I'm not mistaken, and he knows about all the major Israelite groups because he mentioned them. He mentions the IUICs, IUCPKs, GMSs, and so forth. So he knows about us, and he even mentioned us, these different groups. Anyway, he was a pastor that, became an Israelite, transformed, however you want to put it, into being an Israelite, come to the realization that he's an Israelite. So so this is his video. And this is fair use, fair use, fair use. I just want to slow it down. Okay, let me see here. You know what, I'm going to leave it alone. It's no big deal because I'm saying fair use. So listen to this individual mainly. And this is what he says concerning this whole Hebrew Israelite thing and of us being Israelites. So you'll be listening to about no more than 5 minutes, maybe even 3-4 minutes. So listen up.
What's their language? What's their history? What's their culture? What's their traditions? What's their purpose in this world? Right? A lot of people lost their identity and are looking for it. And they're
Let me bring that back some. Okay, this is Godfrey the comedian, and which he knows about the Israelites because he always brings it up, or somebody brings it up, and so it always comes up in the conversation. And he's Nigerian descent, born here, but he's a Jake. He's definitely one of us. Hey, that's ICPK. Y'all got to wake up. Were you born in Nigeria? You a Hamite? No. You didn't. They didn't capture all the Israelites in Western Africa and enslave them. There's some that got away. There's some that sold. Israel was a part of the slave trade too. They were selling their own people into slavery. That doesn't. Jake does that now. Jake sells himself out even today. So let me come back a little bit more. Okay, right here.
With State Department and all these other people to get them out. They said they were able to use diplomats from France, United States, and Israel to get them out of Nigeria. I'm like, how the fuck do you have State Department clearance to be able to make something like that happen? That are young like you, that are like, yo, hell yeah, let's connect with our people. Is there a big...
There's a movement.
I mean,
is there a movement?
The younger generation is different than the older generation.
Of course.
Right? The younger generation is more open-minded and they're looking for something. Everyone is hungry for something, but there's nothing really being offered. And so even within the black community within America, people are looking for identity. Right? I used a few times the term African-American. I mean, I've been in many conversations. Africa is a continent. It's not a country. Right. And American is an experience that they really weren't a part of this entire time. And black is a skin color, which is an experience today, unfortunately, because there's such thing called racism, which is an invention of human beings, but not an actual thing. We're not different because of our skin color. So what are they? What's their language? What's their history? What's their culture? What's their traditions? What's their purpose in this world? Right? A lot of people lost their identity and are looking for it. And there is truth that a lot of people of color descend from Israelite tribes from Africa, the ones that we're going to visit, the populations that they were targeting historically till this day, the Igbos, right? Why always? And the Igbos are the richest, and most educated demographic in all. Hold up. And the Igbos in society are always blamed for what? Running the media, running the economy. Oh, we're starting to see a trope and a similarity.
Yeah, those Nigerians, they they run shit, because they're Israelites. Not all Africans are Israelites. We fled into Africa, the interiors of Africa. That goes back to uh, 70 AD. During that period, that was during the time 70 AD. Wasn't everything didn't happen in 70 AD. It started with Nero. Nero's with us today. Nero 47. That's definitely the Nero in the past, the emperor. So we're talking 66 AD to 74 AD. Had the Masada incident. Look that up. There was a point in time where the Romans were kind of cool with us as long as we paid them taxes, and they kept overtaxing. That's what that whole 70 AD thing was all about. Taxing the hell out of us.
Pattern.
So what he's saying is Godfrey runs this podcast.
Let me tell you, if I ran the media, I'd be on my 10th sitcom right now. Okay. I'd be on every TV show right now.
You change the name from Seinfeld to Godfrey.
Yeah, but this is I like this kind of thing because it's hard to break and to talk about this because usually you see those
It
Hebrew,
shouldn't be.
You know those Hebrew Israelite the brothers in America with the they got the cape and people will see that and go, oh, they're extremists. Do they know what they're talking? You ever connect with those guys?
All the time.
And are they making sense or are they
They're
not?
different groups. They're not one monolith, and a lot of them fight between each other. I mean, that's also typical of the Jews.
Yeah.
Right. So you have people who still believe in Jesus. You have people who've rejected Jesus amongst the Black Israelites.
I gotta bring that
You
back.
have those who
Let me
believe
bring
that
that
the Jews
back.
believe in Jesus. I mean, that's all the time.
People will see that and go, the brothers in America about this. I like this kind of thing because it's hard to break and to talk about this because usually you see those
It shouldn't be.
You know those Hebrew Israelite the brothers in America with the
So that, like I said in the beginning of this video, he knows about the Hebrew Israelites, the different groups out there. But he speaks on it like we're an organization. Oh, I became an Israelite yesterday, and I've been in this thing for 2 years. I'm disenchanted. I'm no longer an Israelite. No, Israelite is a nation of people. You're an Israelite. So anybody that runs into Godfrey, tell them you're an Israelite. You're an Israelite.
they got the cape and people will see that and go, oh, they're extremists. Do they know what they're talking? You ever connect with those guys?
All the time.
Yeah, they say extremist. Extremist means the end of something. Going to the extreme. For the football season, NFL, AFC, you got people that come out in the cold at games with their shirts off, their skin showing, and they'll paint the team logo on there. That's extremist. When you become, if you want to become the next LeBron James or the next MJ or the next Dr. J, you got to be extreme with what you're doing. Kobe, you got to get to practice an hour before or half an hour before the rest of the team shows up, and you got to leave. You got to be the last one to leave. The first one to get there, the last one. That's an extremist because they want supremacy. They took those words and made them bad. They're black supremacists. What the fuck's that supposed to mean? Black extremists. The ones that are extreme are the prophets.
And are they making sense or are they
They're
not?
different groups. They're not one monolith, and a lot of them fight between each other. I mean, that's also typical of the Jews.
Yeah.
Right. So you have people who still believe in Jesus. You have people who've rejected Jesus amongst the Black Israelite tribes. You have those who believe that the Jews are also Jews. Those of us that are Sephardic, Ashkenazi, Mizrahi, others. And there's the replacement theology that no, we're the real Jews. They're the fake Jews. Right. And the reason this comes from is because
Sephardic, the Sephardic Jews, I believe they're Israelites. They're product of the Moors. When you do this history on the Sephardic Jews, they that geographical location is next to what is that? The what is it? Hibernian, I think it's Hibernian Peninsula. Somebody help me out. I'm trying to get the pronunciation right. But I ran into um, a handful of Sephardics, and they act like Jake. I'll be surprised if they're not, because you had the Moors. The Moors didn't just embrace Islam; they embraced he being an Israelite. They were just labeled. They were in Spain. The word Moreno, Moor, just means black. It's a Spanish word meaning black, so they call them the blacks. And Spanish is Moors. Negro, Moreno, Morena, Moreno is black man. Morena is black woman. Puerto Ricans and Dominicans use that even today. So that's where there was no. These guys that call themselves Moors, but now they're saying that they're Israelites and more. You can't be two things. You can't be two nations at the same time.
Because there's a phenomenon happening where a lot of people of color, not just in America, in the Caribbeans, in South America, wherever the slave trade went to, they're waking up to their identity. This is a real thing. It's a phenomenon. We have to address it. But when they're coming to
Now, I probably could get into that too. There was a video I was watching. If I didn't watch all of it, I watched most of it. Put up by GMS All Precepts, which that's the elder Aisha Yah out of North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. I always get the South and the North mixed up, but it's North Carolina. I believe they're based out of Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken. But he did a video based upon another video that the elder out of Chicago, the head Malcolm, did, and they were going into I'll probably show it, but into the psyche of, if you lose your identity, if you taught, like we're taught that we were Negroes, coloreds, but now we're waking up, because that brainwashing that the enemy puts on you, it goes away in time. So it's going away. That's why you have mostly men. Majority of Israelites are men. The flock of my pastor are men. They're coming out of them churches. Jake, man, hey, when I was a kid, when we were like 9, 10, we used to go to church every Sunday to get the little girls. Get a little 9, 10-year-old girls. We were 9 and 10 years old. We liked the little girls. We didn't go for God.
to other Jews and saying, my brother, I finally found out who I am. Come, let's unite together. Then most Jews who've never heard this idea, and because a lot of them were raised in Europe, so have a lot of European mentality, then start saying, there's no way you're Jewish, you're black, or you're African. We've never heard of such a thing. So go away. Now, to a person that's really hurt.
Right, and like I said in the past, I dealt with many, what do you call them, Orthodox people, and they're born being taught that they were the people, but they're decent people in general. But you're going into captivity if you're Edomite, whether you're generous or not. But they'll talk to you and they'll let you know. And when you talk to them, you realize they really believe they're the people, because that's all they grew up, they were born into it. So that's going to be a wake-up call. But some of them are Jakes. Some of them are Jakes. A certain percentage of them are Jakes. So you got to tell them that.
And has been hurt for hundreds of years and has generational trauma in their DNA passed down to them. They're like, if they were really Hebrews, they would accept me. It must be that they're not the real Jews. And so that's where the problem is. And that's what, if you look at Kyrie's documentary.
Kyrie, the documentary listed among falsehoods, it said the Holocaust didn't happen. Do you believe the Holocaust
those falsehoods
happened?
are unfortunate. And it's not that I don't believe in the Holocaust. I never said that. Never, ever have said it. It's not come out of my mouth. I never tweeted it.
So they putting words in this guy, the whole Kyrie Irving thing. But he effed around and found out. They put him in his place. They said they put him on a virtual tree and whipped him. But see, when you do stuff like that, that means you have to protect that lie. You have to keep that lie going.
I never liked anything like it. So the Holocaust in itself is an event that means something to a large group of people that suffered something that could have been avoided. No one said we had to practice racism. No one said we had to treat each other like garbage. No one said that I had to stand here today and understand that many people that come from generations 60 years ago, 40 years ago, enslaved some of my ancestors still spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, and it's still going on. And you guys are asking me respectfully to speak on something that was a documentary that I had nothing to do with.
This is what happened. They're saying what is that movie with Roddy Piper and what is this, Keith David? The hell is that movie? They Live. You know, they had the scene where Roddy Piper found the glasses and he saw the truth. It was an old woman that was a demon, and she said there's one that can see. There's one that can see. So they're pouncing on Kyrie Irving because he can see. You know, he rented the video. What is it? Hebrews to Negroes, put up by Ron Dalton, aka Moses Levy. So you watch the video. It's a good video. I believe I watched most of it, if not all of it. I'm talking about the original video. And but he teaches a different. He teaches very differently. He doesn't go into the 12 tribes. He doesn't think the people of Central and South America are the tribes, that they all got to be black and they all got to be based in Africa, and Palestine is in Africa, Southern Africa. But Kyrie, watched the movie and said it was a pretty good movie. No big deal. You watch a movie. What did you think of the movie? It might have not been the greatest movie in the world but no, it's pretty good. And then you got these people pouncing on you. Why did you say that? What kind of shit? Because they're afraid. That's why they lawyer up, because they're afraid that the truth is coming out. They have to cover the truth or cover up the truth with lies. Their back is to the wall. The truth is the main weapon.
I didn't make it.
There's a lot of truths in there,
Right.
but it falls on deaf ears because there's a lot of false things in there as well.
Okay.
Which is why we need to open up this conversation and really be very specific as to what are their origins. If you look at a lot of the names during the slave trade, a lot of them had Jewish names when they were brought to this country, and then their names were erased and changed into something else.
Of course.
Yeah, the famous scene in the Roots series when they said your name is Toby. He said, "What's your name, boy?" "My name is Kunta Kinte." "No, you're not. You're Toby." "No, I'm Kunta Kinte." They hung him up. They whipped him, and they beat the Kunta Kinte out of his ass. So that's why we don't know who we were. That's why we don't know. We call ourselves Hebrew names, Lashon Kodash. We're extremists. Like I said, extreme means to the end of something.
So I'm saying, or I don't know. I don't trust him. Again, at most he's well-meaning, but he's too trained. I was listening to him talk. I listened to his other videos. And
Yeah, this individual's talking about the other one that looked like Che Guevara, and he even said that. He said this guy's a wannabe Che Guevara. So I don't know the dude. I mean, he told the truth. Hebrew Israelites Trending, October 20th, 2025. Give me a second.
stuff. This dude is comms trained, and I know that. I think he's open about. He was in the Israeli military for.
Yes,
he
was. Yep.
No, this dude's trained.
Okay, good. Okay. This guy right here, the Che Guevara looking dude. Okay, you don't need this no more. This is 10 minutes, 10:09. This guy right here. He was in the Israeli, so he's a small hat. So we don't know if he's a double agent, whatever the case may be. We don't know if he's opposition. Let's move on.
He's trained. Listen to the way he speaks, the way he debates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. And this whole idea, and he even says in some of his
Yeah, you have debates where you got guys that are trained debaters, great debaters because they're trained to debate.
stuff, oh, we're just going to go into these countries and talk about going back to Israel, and we're going to do it anyway. That little imperialistic way, like, for you to go to somebody else's country and tell them about themselves. Because I don't buy you're doing it for some people.
So basically, he's saying, as you just heard, that we're going to bring all the people back. Well, the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Shai, is going to bring us back. We're not going to go back. That's why there's no talk about the Israelites in Demona. They're not a threat. They're not a threat at all. The ones that are on the street corners, they're the threat. But it's a spiritual threat. And they would love to make it physical. So you guys out there with you idiots and your guns out there in the range, like you had your hand out there in the range. That's definitely the wrong thing to do. You see a bunch of white boys drinking Budweisers at a gun range, you thinking these guys are racist, they want to kill niggas. So when they see you doing it, they thinking you Israelites like to go out to the shooting range because you're getting ready to kill white people.
Peaceful thing.
You know what you are? You're an ancient Israelite.
Ancient Israelite, that's who we are. That's who we are. So if you give me time, if you give me time, how old he say?
No, we don't have
so many years.
I know. Look at this. This is pages and pages of notes. And I promise we'll give more teaching. But here is my challenge to you.
All right.
And don't get me wrong, there's a certain percentage of the small hats, European Jews, that are Israelites. So you got to tell them the truth, whether it be 5% or 25%. There's a certain percentage of them that are the people, that are part of the people, even though you look like you're gonna have Israelites looking like Edomites. Anyway, I said I was gonna make this short. Let me see if I can find. Give me a second here. I want to see if I can find this. When you go to Ezekiel 37, just came to mind. One of my favorite books, chapters rather, and it speaks about the breath. There's the breath coming on us. The ones of our people that can't get it, the Most High didn't blow the breath on them. He didn't put breath in them. Let me see if I got the elders page on this. This is the computer in my bedroom, which is a different YouTube page. So, okay, let me see something. I'm surprised I ain't got it. Let me see. Let me do it this way. I'm in the dark here, so I can hardly see. GMS. How do you spell precepts? Maybe for me, I can hardly see. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, we got it. Look, I'm subscribed to it, see? Excuse me. Okay, this is it right here. This is what I wanted to get into. I'm not gonna let you hear the whole thing. Video may understand, proceed.
All right, Shalom. I want to give
I
all
want
the
to just go
praise,
right to
honor,
the
and
point.
glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakak Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this.
Generation of the black community. The problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black is with the young generation of the black community.
This was an Israeli government official who was saying this, not some low-level operative or some...
Yeah, she's I believe this talk is in Israel, and she's talking about the problem is the black. So what do young black Americans matter to the government? Because they're the Israelites waking up.
rogue member of their diplomatic corps. This was a senior member of their administrative government who was saying this on American soil. Their biggest problem wasn't Hamas or Hezbollah or the Palestinian Authority or Syria or even Iran. She said that Israel's biggest problem was young black people in the United States.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community.
Yeah, and this is a major problem. That's why, I was just thinking about, again, what the elder has said. Let me pull this up. All right. Isaiah 13. Hey, this is the burden of Babylon. All right. Isaiah 13:1, it says, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. The point, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. The high mountain is America, man. The banner is the truth. All right, this word. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand that it may go into the gates of the nobles, right? So this word has gone up to the gates of the nobles, the elites of the world, man. Okay, and we understand that the people who have the control of the world and its resources
Okay, this is what I
warned
wanted.
us
Let me just do this.
about the
You
just in the
watch the
PDF. I want to go to
whole
the point
video.
here, right? Because these so-called slave masters, they knew
Let me
about the
come back over
brutes
here.
who are the Israelites. All right, you so-called Negro Latino. That's part of the what was written in the infamous Willie Lynch letter. All right, because it made a point about the brutes who are the Israelites. All right, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and Hispanics. The brutes would eventually come back to the remembrance of who they are. All right, and this is what I thought about. This is why, again, I'm just adding on to what this small hat Edomite woman said about the so-called, black youth in America being a major threat to the tiny hats in Israel. Now, because it's all prophecy at the end of the day. Let me go to the letter here. I got it in the PDF, right? So this is the Willie Lynch, the infamous Willie Lynch letter. All right, the making of a slave. All right, it's just in the PDF. I want to go to the point here, right? Because these so-called slave masters, they knew eventually what would happen, right? And we always, reference this point. But right here under this header, it says warning possible of interloping negatives, right? So, the point that I have highlighted here, right? It says our experts warned us about the possibility. Our experts warned us about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring. For they say that the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time. If it can touch some substantial original historical base, and they advised us that the
Yeah, this is when somebody gives you lies and you eventually wake up from them lies, you come to the realization that this is all BS, that you're not Christians. That's why the so-called black women, Israeli women, they stay in church. They're big in church. Black men don't want to go to church. Any black men, so-called black men, Israelites that go to church, is because a woman might tell them you got to go to church if you want to stay with me. That's that vibration of that church or harlot house is for the harlots, and they are all harlots. So Jake doesn't want to go because he said this is BS. What am I learning from this goddamn church? That's why there's the majority of people that come into Israel are Israelite men. So that lie is wearing off. Hey, perfect example, the movie The Truman Show, starring Jim Carrey. If you don't know about The Truman Show, you might be able to catch it on YouTube for free, or maybe rent it at a library or something like that. But it's about, I'm not going to tell you the whole movie. I saw it in the theater, and it was about this guy named Truman. Was living life, but there was cameras on him, and everything was fake. He had a fake wife, and he didn't. At the end of the movie, he woke up to the fact that there's a show. They got cameras on him. His wife is fake. Everything around him was fake. So he woke up. He woke up from the lies. So guess what? We are in the Truman Show, the movie The Truman. We're the real people of the movie The Truman Show. So we're seeing things. We're saying, no, this doesn't add up. No, it makes sense that we're Israelites. That's why these people lawyer up, because you got to keep that lie going. Let's listen to a little bit more. I'm not going to go too much farther.
The best way to deal with the phenomenon is to shave off the brute's mental history and create a multiplicity of phenomena of illusions, so that each illusion will twirl in its own orbit, something similar to floating balls in a vacuum. All right. So they had to keep our people, distracted with everything outside of the truth. All right. They couldn't allow us to come back to who we are, because as he said, they said that the experts warned the slave masters about how, the slave mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself
among men. The flock of my past are men. Ezekiel 34. Also, Second Corinthians 10 verse 4. You can start at the top. It speaks about us tearing down strongholds, which are lies. So the first thing you tell a person on the street, you're an Israelite, and well, the Israelites are supposed to be white, and then you show them in the scriptures. Moses was a so-called black man. Miriam turned white. If she turned white, what about Jesus? I was taught that Jesus was a white man. So I said, where's that in the scriptures? Nowhere in the scriptures. It describes the Messiah as being the man with a woolly hair. So you got these Edomites that say, oh, that represents purity. I don't care. I don't give a damn what it represents. What did he see? Whether it represented purity or not, what did John see? What did Daniel see when he saw the Ancient of Days? He saw a man sitting on a throne with an afro. White people don't have afros. And don't give me the painter, Rob, whatever his name is, the painter. Everybody saw the painter. You take a little of this, we're going to make some birds. That dude is a Jake. He's a Gadite. There's pictures when he was young where he had straight hair. So he's not an Edomite. He looked like an Edomite. He's a Gadite. Matter of fact, he was a drill sergeant in the Marines during the Vietnam conflict. So that dude right there was a Jake. He wasn't an Edomite.
Over a period of time, eventually they will snap out of that. They will wake up. It says if it can't touch some substantial original historical base. Right? Now I had the you know the chat thing basically explain it, right? And I want to add scriptures to it, right? So right here, so this is what he was saying in this warning, right, to these slave masters. So here on the left, I know it's kind of small, but we'll read it here. It says, the key concepts in the selected text revolve around the idea of controlling a person's thoughts and a historical understanding to maintain dominance. The text suggests
that's what Christianity was all about, plantation Christianity. Now, the scriptures say in Matthew 10, starting from the 5th verse on down, you can read down to 7, 8, 9, the whole chapter really. But starting from the 5th verse of Matthew 10, it says, go not to the Gentiles, and then he said, the Samaritans, you not but go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then as you read down, it says, if they don't accept it, shake the dust and just move on. So you got a lot of jakes that come up and buck up against this truth, so you leave them alone. You don't like this whole thing. The IUIC went down to Atlanta, which the Most High didn't tell him. The Most High didn't come to Nate in the dream and say, you must go back to Atlanta. You must go to the Pam Church. No, he's doing his own thing. That's why his focus is on Africa. Oh, we gotta go everywhere and wake every Israelite up. No, that's not. There's nowhere in the scriptures you gotta wake every Israel, because not every Israelite gonna wake up. The place that you're supposed to, the place where it was said, ye are not my people, there shall be son unto them, ye are the sons of living power. That's America. It's not. No, it's talking about the Romans allowed us to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and call ourselves Israelites. So what are you talking about? The place. It speaks about the place in Revelation 12. When you go to Revelation 12, when it mentions the place, into the wilderness, into her place, into the wilderness, into her place. The wilderness represents Africa, where we fled to, and other parts of the world. Into the wilderness, it fled into the wilderness, into her place. In the place where it was said, you are not the Most High's people, there shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of living power. That's America. That's America. That's why these small hats are lawyering up, because that lie, delusions, Mr. Wordworth, delusions. Somebody look up the word delusion. It's wearing off.
that people naturally try to fix or align their understanding of themselves over time. And the way to prevent this natural process is to remove their true historical foundation.
And I'm going to say this, right? I got to watch this video. This is for No Fame, which I subscribe to him. Ashante Freaky Pictures. All these women in the hip hop industry, he gotta have a certain look. They don't want they don't make you famous because you spit fire. You're a so-called rapper, you know. You gotta have a certain look. You have to have a certain sexual look. And like I always say, all y'all in the industry are a bunch of freaks. Hey, came up with Diddy, the freak parties. They'll have sex. Who wants to have sex for 3 days straight? Huh? These people these are demons, man. These motherfuckers are demons, and they ain't gonna make it. Let's go get back into this.
And replace it with confusing false information, right? And this is why these devils gave you these idols in these false religions. Okay, to keep you from your true heritage, your true nationality, right? Jeremiah 17:4, in thou even thou Salaki, and thou even thyself shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for you have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Right? So this is part of the curses, that we will be discontinued, okay, from our true nationality and heritage. All right, we would be called by another name. Okay, we went into slavery, captivity under our enemies. This
Your heritage starts with your land, and with the land comes the culture of the land. So the vocab say, "Oh, that's the land." Yes, but part of our land is a culture. So what it really means is coming back to your heritage is coming back to your culture, and then eventually going back to your land. See, we got the culture on this side in America. Now the fulfillment of prophecy is for us to go back to our land and be on top. And this place is going down. And we believe that Nero 47 is going to usher in the MOTB and the utter destruction of this place. Destruction of this place. It said he became, what did it say? His hands became feeble. The king of Babylon in Jeremiah 50. Important chapter, Jeremiah 50 and Jeremiah 51.
It's happened, right? It says, here are the key concepts explained simply with examples, right? So what it said the mind's drive to correct itself. The text states the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time if it can touch some substantial original historical base. Simple meaning, a person's mind naturally seeks truth, consistency, and a real understanding of their past. If they have a solid, true history to look back on, their identity and perspective will eventually fix, quote unquote, themselves and resist false ideas. Whoo, man. Let me get that in Isaiah 10. That's prophecy, right? This is Isaiah 10 and 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. All right? That's what's going on. This is why
That's that breath in Ezekiel 37. It said they had no breath. The bones came together, but they had no breath in them. The breath is knowing that you're an Israelite and knowing the book. If you don't have 100% of this book, all the prophecies, you don't have the breath. You know, like the MOTB. If you say with Israelites, the 12 tribes, this, that, and the third, and you say the MOTB is sending all of its forms or an embargo or secret white women, you don't have the breath. GMS has the breath, the full breath.
these devils are shook. Okay? Because the lies are wearing off.
That's why the woman said the biggest problem with Israel is the American blacks. They're blacks. Because why would she say that? Because she knows that they're the Israelites. And their concern is about the men of Israel.
Okay, Jake is no longer leaning upon this devil for understanding. All right, they're leaning upon the Holy One of Israel in truth. Okay, prophecy is going out. The true understanding of the Bible is going out, man. Okay, our people are waking up. That's the threat. That's the problem, right? Verse 21, Isaiah 10 and 21, the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob unto the mighty power. See? And Esau, he can't stop that. Right? So back in the read, it says, example, imagine a person who was told their whole family were terrible singers if they later discover old family videos showing their relatives performing in a professional choir, substantial original historical base. Their mind will correct the initial false belief. They'll start to think, wait, that can't be true. We have a history of talent. That's heavy, right? And you know, Jake is waking up, you know, through that through that new song, right? Matter of fact, that's heavy too. Let me get that. I was thinking about that. It's the spirit. Was it Psalm 40? Right. This is Psalm 40 and in verse 3. It says, "And he had put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our power. Many shall see it and fear and shall trust in the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua." The standard is going up.
Yeah, that song is the truth, the 100% truth. That's the song is written. You do a word search on the word song. You know, there's song people that sing songs, but then the song represents this truth. Revelation 14, when they sung a song that only a certain group of people can understand, can sing the song, which is starting with the 144,000 elect. This is why we don't waver, we don't turn to the right hand or the left hand when it comes to the mark of the beast. For example, we never change it. Go back as far as you can go. When we first got on YouTube, 07, summer of July of 07, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2013, 14, we maintained the MOTB is this, we broke it down the same way. We didn't change it. Remember, Nate, IUIC keeps changing it. They keep adding stuff to it. And the reason why those people, the people that follow this guy, follow him because the Most High didn't open up their brains. If their mind, if their spirit was open, they would leave this guy. They would come against this guy. They would refer to him as a false prophet. And the Lord says this: he's supposed to put a false prophet to death. Anyway, I'm gonna close this. Shalom. On to the next. You can watch the rest of this video. Shalom.